Hello there. Welcome to my match against Bryan, my last match of season 67. Shy on Horde. Okay. I mean, there's not a lot going on here unless we pull cantrips or villages from the black market. Though to be fair, even if you pull villages, it doesn't necessarily open up all that much. But it's pretty good, so I guess I'm gonna get a second look out here. I don't know. I mean, obviously Artist plays nicely with black market if you pull cantrips or village. The problem is just that you can play these I don't know, these hands aren't necessarily, this is not a lot of money for black market, so we'll just see what we pull. But I don't think you want Artist anytime soon, actually. Not the best draw. I mean, we get to, no, well, we may even whiff Estate on this, or Estate on this lookout play. We're looking at 2 coppers in the bottom here, so it's only if the reshuffle flips an Estate. Yeah, I mean, unlikely to be able to buy those anyway, I guess. But wouldn't have minded being able to. Capital City is a great pull here. Like, really good. Should be automatic. You can pick up an Artist too if you want. I mean, I don't know that I would yet. But anyway, that's a really nice pull. We do have Estate bottom here, so no matter what, we are trashing Estate. Does go for the Artist. I don't love it just because you are getting ready to shuffle, and it does mean your next black market is a miss. And then I don't know, this shuffle, the Artist is extremely low impact. I mean, it may be a lab or a double lab, which is fine, but I'd be a little worried about the debt this turn. But if you hit everything on it, it could be even a quadruple lab, of course. So, I mean, this was slightly misplayed. Because they aren't buying anything with this black market. He just sort of auto played all the coppers. So this Artist could have drawn 4 cards. That was just real quick. Hopefully, you know, best case scenario, Bryan just never realizes this aspect of the play here, and just never ever plays it right. That would be great. And I mean, sometimes it won't matter. Sometimes you'll want to play the more copper just to be able to afford something. I'm going to take it here just because my next turn I don't really have. I mean, to be fair, I don't also necessarily need to take it here. I am going to trigger a shuffle though, aren't I? So let's get it in there. This could be well, no, there's a copper down here. This is unfortunate that Bryan has top deck Capital City 2 turns in a row. That's pretty painful. But, you know, what can you do? This is quite a nice, I mean, Specialist was great. Specialist was awesome. I think I would take the treasure here, except you can't afford any of it, so never mind that. I don't know. This board does not offer a lot in the way of medium buys, by which I mean the you know what I mean. But this is artist is so expensive. It'd be nice to get to do some specialists on artist. Unfortunately, we didn't hit that here. I tossed the lookout. That was maybe incorrect. I could be convinced that that was, a real blunder. We would have loved to see settlers. I would have loved to see settlers on my turn. It would have been perfect for the. Of course, I would have needed to see it on the second black market play also. So maybe not the most likely thing ever. I'm not really sure how we're gonna get going here. I do think settlers is pretty good. Just going for a berserker, I don't really get. The berserkers are bad just because you don't have things you want. Maybe not getting berserker, maybe getting displace. Gold, I don't particularly care for that. That's pretty weird. I would have even thought, even if you're like, oh, I need to up my money a little bit, I would have imagined that, settlers plus silver is actually a little better than just pure gold long term. But if we're playing artist draw, I mean, if you think you're going to do displace gold province and rush the provinces, then there's something there. But I don't really know. I guess I want a second black market. I have a village, sort of very weakish village looking situation. So it's not, I mean, it basically requires me to do specialists on artist or specialists on lookout. So not ideal. Otherwise, I am really hungry for villages or cantrips. Recruiter would have been, of course, fantastic, but I was in debt, which is really just looking like the artist was just too soon. But you do have to get one at some point. This will probably, I mean, Bryan may not have $6 here. Though it's unfortunate that the border village is flipping on this turn instead of mine. But I don't think Corsair is okay. I mean, you are you're still terminal limited. It's fine. Certainly it's not it's not overwhelming for me necessarily. I guess I'd just buy another artist. There's something to a militia, but I am really in a world where if I don't figure out how to get plus action, I'm gonna have a hard time pretty much no matter what. There's time though for whatever here. Rabble is not that great. This is a problem. These pulls are, nothing here is great because of the current deck state for Bryan, where the with the single village. I don't hate it necessarily, but this is a bit of a pain, right? Because we really want the specialist to be in there with the artist. I mean, we can try a double specialist, I guess. I mean, it would be nice to if we trigger this shuffle, we're just going to end up with artists you know, curse or not artist silver, blah 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 blah. There's a black market, but of course the downside being, I mean, how much have we trashed? Getting thinner, obviously, very helpful. I don't know. This is a bit wonky to me. It's like, what are the chance the next one has a really nice 5? Caravan Guard is okay, but we got to try for a better 5 or something. These all suck. I mean, they don't fully suck, but they mostly suck. We can do this at least. This is going to be a little bit of a scary lookout. I'm pretty okay with losing silver. Okay. Well, if we open up this acting troop, then we open up grave robber acting troop. We just have to maintain control over it. Figurine is also really good, but I'm going to say that the villages are better. So we're going to play it this way. We got a shot at a pretty nice artist, yeah. There's at least a silver on top, so... Oh, Buried Treasure artist is also really nice. And the duration, I mean, Corsair period. With that is nice. This is probably going to be a Taskmaster buy. I would buy Taskmaster anyway. Okay. It looks like they were maybe a little more careful this time with the artist stuff. I am... Well, that was quite weird. Is this going to be an undo request? I don't know if I grant it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel like it's going to come in, but like, what is the... What was the thought process? Or what was the... I'll probably grant it. I mean, actually... I mean, no. I mean, if you actually... I mean, if you... I mean, not if you thought... I should really not deny that, but... I would have actually... I would have... Well, I don't know. I think I probably would have granted if he'd been like, oh, I tried to click on black market and missed or whatever. There, he got an outpost, so everything is still pretty good. I need a little help here. I'm fighting for my life. Okay. What do we do now? There's still another silver. These are all super good. But maybe not as good as a grave robber. The outpost could still be a problem. For sure. Lots of things could still be a problem. This lookout play could be a problem. Snowy's nice. Snowy's really good. So we've shuffled. Villa, of course, nice. Okay, that's pretty friendly. Bryan's still solidly ahead. I could have gotten Natalie, but eventually Bryan would just buy a grave robber, and so this would be more explosive if it was like city quarter or something. The artists are still pretty good though. Do you need more artists? I think Bryan probably should go grave robber artist. If I had to pick a thing for Bryan to do here. I did forget about the outpost as far as leaving the acting troupe in there. Oh, I don't like Horde. That seems like not the play, but well, I have to do this pretty much. Now I could put the acting troop on top now. I would love to be able to well, I guess I don't need the acting troop necessarily now. It would be nice to yeah. I don't know. I mean, quartermaster might be okay. Okay. I'm probably gonna get berserked. Probably should go for a grave robber if you're Bryan. At some point in here, swap is nice. Swap is really nice. Oh, settler. That's weird. I would have just picked up swap just automatically there, but settlers is fine. Interesting. That's a weird wish if you already have artist in hand. Why would you wish for it? That's just sort of a lazy wish, but if you had a swap here, you could already get a displace, start displacing your stuff. There's nice things, but anyway. If you draw, of course, you know, you have just a lot of money, so. I do feel like the Bryan's underplaying the payload a little bit here. But that should be to my advantage if I can make it true. Though outpost is still just massive. Which is interesting. There's still, in theory, some action issues for Bryan potentially. If you find the capital city, then it's, you know, it's fine, but I don't think the curse is too harmful. The 12 points could be scary. There's a gardens in there, so there's a gardens in the black market, so in theory there's like some province potential there. Let's go ahead and just draw big for now. I guess there's a lookout in there. Where is my berserker? Oh, it got rabbled. What got hit by rabble? Must have been this turn. Grave robber, berserker, artist. Okay. Interesting. Right. So I'm down to, I do have a lot of debt here. That's not great. So something that would be good would be like a displace. And then let's see. Okay. We could. Trying to think if we can draw it all. We can draw it all. It's just a bit of a pain. I don't hate having a change in the deck either. Just for well, for a number of reasons, but so the village is nice. The militia not so important. Let's try this. Well, unfortunately, we could buy a horde. Of the things we could buy, it's not the most insane. Though it's probably not correct. I kind of like displace. I kind of like nothing. Also, horde is nice if we draw it. There's that aspect, and probably not too harmful if it's in the middle of the turn either. The wishing wells for artists. I mean, there it may have just been correct. Like maybe Bryan didn't have another artist in hand. I think the fear now is just that Bryan just Bryan pentuple provinces this very turn. That would be my fear anyway. But Natalie is not playing for that. Natalie's pretty greedy, actually. IMO. But we'll see what it hits. And maybe you still have enough money to do it anyway. I mean, Bryan has a lot of money. I don't think there's any other 3 piles. Farmland, pretty good. I guess at this point, playing the coppers doesn't hurt you. Draw-wise, you probably have enough draw anyway. We just hope the outpost turns really crappy. That's the big thing. You get the Corsair, which is nice. I lose the Horde, which is, of the things, it's fine. This is a pretty good Natalie reveal for me, all things considered. I think you just go for I do think the Natalie buy was like clearly wrong. Because your best bet here is to just win immediately. And Natalie is worse than like buried treasure for that, but we'll just see what Bryan can do on the outpost. Probably gets there. You don't have to double. I mean, the issue is like there's not a lot of other things to buy that can help you, so probably just gets there off that. I mean, Capital City is huge off that size of hand. Assuming you've found some other artists, like maybe this has stopped. I don't think I can. I mean, of course Bryan was going to have 8, and I can't really easily outscore that at this point. Maybe even have Province Duchy, so like that's probably half VP. So that's even better. There is a Gardens, which I guess I have a pretty big deck. My deck isn't actually all that huge. There's 21, 27. I mean, I can technically still trash the curses. So like with Gardens, it's probably not actually half VP yet. But it's going to be probably essentially half VP. At one point I played the buried treasure in the middle of my turn and just made my artist worse, right? Yeah. I mean, it didn't matter at that stage, but I don't know. This is gonna be some kind of wave going. So one, two, three. Bryan also likely to at some point just have gold or whatever, gold silver in a 3 cards and just be done. Yeah, let's get that. There is, I mean, this is all a bit silly. Of course. All the duchies is still just, or I should have got another displace. Why did I do this thing? Whatever. Because you really need to go like this. Something like this. Not that this is bad or whatever, but where is the could have got the horde, I guess. I don't know. I don't want the gold. I don't have buys. I mean, I don't really have gains like that. I'm sure Bryan just has it some way or the other. Oh, they're Fiatum too. Well, I need that also. So now there's 9 of that, 15 of that, 21. That's 36 plus Gardens and the Gardens, which is 3, and then Fiatum, which is like nothing now, but I guess we can pretend can get up way higher if we're really lucky. So what do you, I mean, this is all kind of bad. Okay. I think we want to specialist the black market. Where are the... Okay. I guess we should try and figure out a way to have all the duchies. Gosh, we still need the still need the stupid we still need the stupid gardens. The gardens are going to be 4 points. This was still an incredibly lucky draw on that. This could be Fiatum, or it could be gold. That's the end of... They did play Buried Treasure now, though, so that's pretty bad. We could pretty easily empty the estates. We gotta see if we get the gardens, I guess. Did the gardens get bought? Did I just miss that Bryan bought the gardens way back when at some point? Or did I hallucinate the gardens? That's another possibility. Also, the question is, is there a chance to get to 50? Do we need to buy here just to have things, just to purely use a buy? So we're going to be at 3 buys. We're not drawing more. So there's a chance that these are just good to have, period. Just in terms of so we only need like $8, $14. I guess if we buy the gardens, we may need a little more. Well, we have it anyway. Where are they? Here, I don't think we're getting much value out of it. 31. Also, the grave robber plays are going to be awful. If we can't win immediately, 4, 10, 35. Oh, we need that Gardens. Well, if we're not winning right away, we can take the treasury. We do have some artists still down here. This particular I guess I can gain the horde on top. They may just have the estate pile out, in which case I should have just whatever berserkered for a silver. This is probably $6. Well, this is certainly $6. I think there was a Gardens in there. Maybe Bryan already bought it. He's mad. That's a whoops. That's a revenge for the taskmaster / not resigning, I think. Did Bryan have the province or the Gardens? Where am I looking for? No Gardens. We do here. There's collection with some really cheap things, so that's always pretty reasonable. Silver mine is good with rope, but you don't necessarily need 1,000,000 ropes here. There's not really a way to do weaver. Menagerie is fine, but not. The draw is a bit weak, sort of, for what you want to do anyway. You can manage the uniques a little bit with secret passage. But definitely it's a strong board for collection just on the back of the cantrips, I would expect. You could open Camel Train too, it's just a little hand wavier. Not hand wavier, but it's a little, has some more downsides. I think there's something to be said for like a silos here. Are the rope mines, are additional rope mines here worth this? 1 silver mine? We'll say yes. You know, you gotta try it. Will it truly be that? I don't know. Beats me. What do we want now? A camel train for our terminal? Could be. How we can do this first to try and find the other estate. Yeah, that's pretty smart. So we can either try now to go super hard on the ropes with this camel train exile, or we can double the collections. I mean, the ropes are going to run out. The collections are not. But the collections are good. So far, my turn's quite a bit better. I guess you do still want to trash. It's better than not trashing. What are we gonna have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did Bryan buy the silver mine? Okay. It's gonna be a little hard to activate the menageries, to be perfectly honest. Maybe should have been passage pawn. I don't know. Okay. I guess we just play it. This could either be secret passage or double pawn. It'd be interesting to add a Ronin. It could help. It's probably just better for me to go ahead and cycle through, right, and not trash anything. And just have a bigger turn here. Guess if this doesn't draw any ropes, we could draw with Menagerie. Otherwise, we could just bottom deck it. Do I have a chance to draw collection? Silver, okay. This turn could be bad. Hopefully we just have kind of a points angle. Because it sure isn't going to be anything but that. I was going to say the action's more likely to be of value. This is a lot of collections. So we should just take as many pawns as we can get, which is 6, I guess. We could take a Menagerie over a pawn, but it's like probably a little better just to deny them. And update the score either time. Well, Hunting Party is really good. I guess you just go silver change. You can probably work around Swamp Hag fine. It's probably pretty bad. I mean, we're going to get some, of course, but not easy to do Horn. I mean, mostly just because Procession kills stuff from play. Otherwise, it would probably still work. It's not impossible, but it is hard. You have to have a lot of spare stuff. You just go straight for the Artisan. You could. So I suppose if you're playing the change angle, then that doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. Can't mill stuff with change. I mean, you could take a silver now and try and buy a hunting. I mean, I guess if you end up with, this is better. I don't know why I was thinking you would do anything but that. That was silly. So you can procession stuff, but you can't. Grave robber would be really great to have now. Way of the butterfly. What does way of the butterfly do? I guess you can procession way of the butterfly. Proc, and keep. Well, that stuff still leaves play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess you only need a couple cards anyway. 7 modifies pretty easy. I guess it's still got to be hop angle. You just have to work around procession. Pick up the silver, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting. I'm sort of unclear on whether maybe your last estate you send to artisan. That one's not. That one's not fully clear to me. Though I don't hate it or anything. There's a greedy version of this and a less greedy version of this. I guess you get a terminal too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's easy. Artisan is the safer variety of this problem. Because you can just top deck a hunting party if you miss things. That's the advantage there. We bottom deck change, which is fine. So then the question is the value of having hunting party on top worth missing a horn play now? And you have to put a copper on top or whatever other crud. I guess you go ahead and put the estate on top, might as well. I kind of want to modify, but I suppose that's for later. Oh, I didn't know change cost 4. Change cost 4, wow. I mean, I guess I did know that, but I forgot it. Okay, so this could be either estate to hunting party. Actually, we can be a little more aggressive. Well, we could whiff. We could also whiff. How many? also don't need necessarily 10,000 hunting parties. Let's do this. I'm trying to play real careful because if I ask for an undo, I think it might not get granted. So I'm trying to be, you know, the tiniest bit conscious of that. I should be like, okay, so like Bryan's probably ahead, assuming Bryan draws every turn. But I should be slightly ahead on like deck comp. And I say that Bryan just being ahead by virtue of having like there we go. Okay. So I also don't have a gold. I'll probably need a gold. I don't know how far we are away from just being able to there's maybe also a line there where I shouldn't have played, but the shuffles were kind of big. This. These are just 5, so it's not. Not like any of this is massively. Again, whatever. Right. We don't have to have a gold either. We could procession the modify. That's not insane. It's not the most aggressive way of doing this, but it's not insane. I guess you can butterfly it and then you get it back if you do the. You can gain it back with hop, I guess. It doesn't give you the This was maybe not worth it. Certainly didn't work out very well. Are we gonna have 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That was all the processions. It's hard to do proc with hunting party. It's not the best thing in the world for that. Well, I'm moderately worried about piling out, but just do our best. Hope Bryan doesn't have a pile out. This is a pretty good starting hand, though we are going to flip some hunting parties. We have a gold now, which that might have been bad. Gold, 2 artisans. We'll see. It really is hard to get the proc stuff to work the way you exactly want it to. This can definitely pile out. The problem is there are a lot of problems. It's trying to get the and we should be on the lookout for whatever finishes we can get. Whether that's just procession artisan or whatever. So this didn't work very good. I would have needed to find, well, obviously I would have needed to find a artisan or a percent, whatever. So what are we looking at now? We can still gain a lot of hops. How many provinces would this be? Or any, would it be any? 1, 2, 3. We're not going to have the hand size either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we didn't even have... Am I counting wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do have it. We have provinces, but not like all of these. We can get a few, I don't know. Can we pile the modifies? The hunting parties missing is a huge problem. We can gain... I guess we can top deck crud. We're also going to add a bunch of fawnings if we do this. I'm not totally sure there's a hunting party in there. Well, anyway, if Bryan draws sufficiently well here, he will win. But not just on a 3 pile. Bryan will have to pile the provinces. Or score a lot some other way. Because I'm going to do that. And I was not even tracking my deck very good because there's not even a hunting party down here. So I'm just a dummy. I wonder if they drew that proc. Otherwise, I would have just started with proc. But, yeah, I guess the good news is Bryan doesn't have a gold. And it's sort of hard to make progress from here without lowering piles. So that's worth something. Some small something, maybe. But I don't have hand size, so... I've also sort of run out the... It would have been interesting to do like return butterfly stuff as a way to get my turn before to way to then you could like procession artisan, put hunting party back on top, that kind of thing. And I maybe missed that as an angle. But and also if I drew, you'd have a lot of milling opportunities with modify. On artisan or whatever on province. Not just milling. Province gains. This is going to be hard. I guess the good news is that probably Bryan's deck won't be all that necessarily likely to do great things across a bunch of turns either. I can just procession artisan, and if there's no win, gain green cards and top deck a couple processions and see what the next turn holds for me. It's not like these decks necessarily run super clean. Or do, I mean, like I said, there's some stuff you can do, but a lot of it's just pile lowering. And you end this turn with, it's still just, you played these cards, but it's still just a 3-card hand. You're getting clean now if you get another turn. but you're back in a spot where you need to have been able to make up the VP difference. What does Marchland count? 1 per 3. So you have to have 9 victory cards before it's worth as much as a duchy. I'm gonna have maybe 6 or something. Remodel's interesting. It's like now Bryan has the uniques. I should check that there's not a pile out. I don't know how I would do that exactly. It would be like procession, artisan for procession and modify. That's gonna be a card short, right? You go procession, artisan, you get modify and procession, but you have to put 2 cards back. Oh, but then you do the modify. But you still have another procession play, so then you procession the modify. But no, you need another card. I'm pretty sure. Procession. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can just no, you can't empty the modifies or do enough butterfly. I mean, butterfly works against you if you're butterfly and modify, but it's very close. I guess you can procession modify. What does that get you? You still would need a card to remodel while you do the other ones. I think it doesn't work. I could be missing something. I'll fully admit I could be missing something between procession and butterfly. That seems very possible. Okay. So the hunting party's still not here. I mean, that's not too surprising. So I could score a lot still. I don't hate the scoring angles terribly. Under the assumption that there's fairly easy pile outs if I ever draw at all. Oh, right, I can't do duration. Well, whatever. What? I'm so confused. I don't know, whatever. That was not what I intended to do, but I managed to really confuse myself there, so. I mean, I meant to at least butterfly the procession. I forgot the non-duration clause. Okay, that was the main issue, but not the only issue by any stretch. Okay, well, there are quite some number of those down here now. I could, yeah. Oh boy. What is happening? I hope I lose this one. This is in hand now, but it's like, yeah, you just can't. It just doesn't work. Ryan's deck is like exploded as much as mine is, just with the caveat that I already have 3 provinces. Anyway, this will finish Artisan Procession. Thank goodness. So stupid. Just whatever. Let's just go on. It doesn't bear thinking about whatever happened there. Another Artisan Hunting Party game. So you kind of have to do Emissary Nomads to get your... That's interesting. To get your... That doesn't play very ely with Fishmonger, to be honest. I was thinking about just opening Fishmonger because I like it, but... I mean, ultimately, you can become pretty thin. And then you can use Emissary, you can use Band of Nomads or Band of Nomads Artisan with Emissary to get some extra Artisan plays in, which is great. When you can manage it. Maybe you can afford a Fishmonger. It doesn't exactly... I don't know that it's worth it, is the main thing. So then I don't know if you want something like a Fortune Teller or not. Silver is okay here. Silver Landing Party is also fine. If I want the Fortune Hunter, then I should get it now, but I think Artisan is good enough that you do it like this. Fishmonger also pretty good for that. Do we trigger this? Guess you'd trigger this. This won't work super great, but whatever. Mostly because the next hand is bad, but it would be better if we could hit... if we had 4, this would be okay. And then with Landing Party, this would actually be a pretty reasonable path that way. But anyway. This way, not so reasonable. Not terrible, but, you know. Okay. Guess that's what we're playing with. Love that for me. Not the friendliest shuffles, if I do say so myself. But they're workable. They're not awful. This is nice. I want the hunting parties. How do we do this? So we can do one. We want to put emissary on top now. And have it trigger. So I guess we can draw one with harbinger. It doesn't matter. And even if that was an issue, we could put that on top. But they don't have a way of forcing me to shuffle in any fashion, so this is nice. And now I want the sanctuary. There's something to be said for just doing artisan there with 6. Because if you draw it, you still run. But it's fine. I wonder if there's a point where you like use storeroom to make the emissary stuff work. Obviously, hunting party gives you lots of opportunities to do that also, so I could believe that the play was to just get a buy artisan here, since I was gonna pick up 2 favors, so that makes the artisans, you know, non-terminal. Bryan still has his favor, which is huge. Didn't use it. It's fine. We're gonna get to the artisan. So we can either get an emissary here and trigger. Well, we're gonna need to do some stuff to do that. We can also just save it. How many cards did I discard? Enough. One, two, three, four, five, six. So I can't play the Fortune Hunter. What is quest do you need? There's no attacks. Okay. We do need a gold. Or just some money, one way or the other, I guess. Fair bit. They're a fair bit ahead on exiling. But that can be made up. The question is whether we can find a way to do money here that is good. Though also gaining a lot of duchies is also not horrifically bad. Just because there's not a great way to scale up to provinces. Or a super, super good way to add money for that. It's too bad Band of Nomads doesn't let you just like really rush the well, this was horrible luck. But Guess I'm gonna province. I always like to. I mean, I guess I could have got by. Kind of like it still. Maybe you're totally wrong. Not getting to play those artisans though sucked. That was awful. But I'm not clean yet, so it's not too weird. I'm not clean. I don't have a bunch of hunting parties. I have some emissaries, but I don't know how long until Bryan threatens like double. Because if that isn't imminent, then you know, what should I put on top here? Okay. I can kill the last estate. Actually, that's not the last estate. I can kill an estate. I want. I can just top deck a hunting party by province. Or I can get a sanctuary. No. There's some scariness. This is like... So it's one either way. We might as well get the... Okay. So if we go like gold, silver here, which I could have done last time, we do have some threat on double. Which we probably need. We can also do a card here to not have this top decked. I don't think anyone's gonna threaten triple. And Bryan doesn't really have double either, so could just buy a bunch of hunting parties though if he wanted to. I would probably just switch to landing party gains from my artisans in that case. All these coppers exiled, of course, are like nice. We may be able to do one. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna do one over buying double if I have that. I don't know how likely I am to have that period, but I definitely should have done gold silver the turn before that, but when I'm provinced. But I forgot about the nomads buy, and I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to avoid undos. Yeah, you're still quite a bit from double, assuming that was like pretty much your own money. Well, okay. I guess I hit 8 anyway. I can do one. Well, I was at... When I did this turn, Fortune Hunter, 2 coppers play top deck of copper. But I think there was still one in the discard too. So I think I was 2 above. I think I can exile 1 and it be safe-ish. I didn't think about that. I didn't order this properly. Because there may have been a draw that was useful. I didn't quite think that through. Whoops. As they say. Yeah. This isn't so bad. They would technically have threat off. I mean, I can't. I can double, but I can't. If I draw to double, it's safe, but. And they didn't buy silver, so they didn't even gain double threat. Which is a bit of a problem. IMO. Now I want to draw. I want to play hunting party first because I can still discard provinces. Well, we still have emissaries that we can gain, I guess. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. 12, 13. I guess I could have waited on that. Or figured out a better way to do that. This wasn't exactly it. Let's put it that way. But it's fine. I don't think Bryan has threat on double. Well, Bryan was at 12, right? Bryan was at 12, so 2 silver gains with Artisan could do it. That's true. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't even have it anyway, so. I mean, I do have it if I gain silver. Bryan would have to use both artisans to gain silvers. And all of that is for a tie, basically. That's only if you draw every single card. But it does have a landing party. So it's not crazy. I'm going to go with this. Could buy a copper. It's actually a little nicer. It could also be a fishmonger. Both of those could be nicer. But copper is like the easier one. Then it frees up artisans to gain duchies or landing parties. Which is nice. I don't know if I really needed it. I guess that's the other consideration there. I mean, yeah, it frees up the artisans, but then the turns where I just dud on the copper are really bad. We'll just see. We'll see how it goes. They didn't draw deck. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. That's nice. Okay. So I guess I play this first. Right? I mean, I have to. That's fine. So far as it goes. We have to do it. This is better. I guess this is guaranteed. 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whatever. We can get a silver. There's no fleet. There's continue. I don't. Is there a. What does continue do? You can continue T-Mog. And then I guess you T-Mog Enchantress and play it, pay off debt. I guess you do that. I mean, I don't know. Is it good? No one knows. Somebody knows, but not me. Otherwise, Falconer is pretty good. I mean, this is the hard, or it's not that hard, but the issue is just that you make it a little harder to just do more reasonable things on the reshuffle. I mean, Enchantress turn. I mean, it's pretty similar, except that the Enchantress is in play already. Right? Because the T-Mog will be out of the shuffle for the next thing. Just lets you play the Enchantress sooner. I guess you can continue the Enchantress and it would stop me from doing something similar to this. So I think I want a Falconer. What do you buy? Maybe you buy Enchantress, because like the Falconer play is probably you T-Mog for Village and then play Falconer for Smithy. It's probably something like that. Oh, I thought I had a T-Mog. I didn't have a T-Mog. I'm so stupid. Let's see if we can find the Falconer. We could continue. That's true. Dun, 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 dun. Mm-hmm. We need to continue, get T-Mog, activate Falconer, get a Smithy, draw to our enchant. No, we won't have the action. No, we will. We're going to get this one that we could draw to the Enchantress. It's going to have 2 actions. They get to activate Smithy. That's fine, I think. Okay. Interesting. You want a lot of Falconers. I know that much. I'm clear on that. I don't know if they're doing the Falconer as much as I would have liked. I mean, or the continue, that's the main thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a village. Because, well, let's go ahead and get a Falconer gaining a village, right? Well, you know, there's potential upsides both ways and downsides. They just bought a second Falconer. I do like the Falconer. I'm gonna try this one. Oh, we have 2. Oh. Well, in that case, this maybe changes things. I should have done this and then called this on that. We'll get chances to do all this crap, but that was definitely not exactly the right play. Fortunately, Bryan didn't have the other whatever. I guess I just take an Enchantress. I don't know. Yeah. I should have done Smithy into Falconer, play Falconer, gain Nomads, then Nomads into Falconer, play Falconer. Is what I should have done on my turn with the T-Mogs, but instead of the thing to village. But it's still okay to do, to just do a state to village. It's not bad. It's fine. We would love to see Nomads, but you know, I assume this will be a continue. Okay, that didn't do oodles and oodles for me. Mentally or otherwise, so that was not great. Do we just go through here? We're gonna need to do a continue, of course. I guess on village? I don't love it. But it'll get us to 3 actions, which would let us Falconer Smithy, play Smithy. Though we can still whiff whatever. I mean, we'll get to see. Maybe we don't need to gain another, or maybe then the Falconer gain opens up a little bit. It did not, just to be clear. But it is more actions than I thought too, so let's get the Smithy. Demog. Well, Falconer is bottom decked, which I would say is not ideal. You'd really like to hit 2 also. Know what they say. Just because getting a loot would be cool. Or lots of loots. Some number of loots would be cool to get. Trading post is insane to me, but that's fine. I think it's just wrong, but that's to my advantage if I believe that that's the case. So. Getting the nomads, I get $2 right now. That's incredible. I wonder if there's maybe you can only pay debt off during your turn. It's probably restricted to your turn. So there's probably not some weird angle where you I don't hate the trading posts. You get a couple trashes, and if there's time and you T-Mog it to gold, you might get value out of it. I'm just worried the tempo versus Falconer is poor. If I was, trying to describe why I wasn't sure that it was worth it, I don't really love continuing on nomads versus other things, but that's fine. So you could have continued. Well, I guess you couldn't do that actually, but well, let's see. So if we do it this way, there is a funny thing with the reactions here that are not favorable to me in the least. Especially because Bryan has his Falconer in hand. Maybe even 2 Falconers in hand, I don't know. Just the one. That's fortunate. I do have another Enchantress in deck, right? So guess we're just gonna blow up all of these now in hopes of drawing and playing things didn't really necessarily work out all that well. We're gonna need to continue a smithy now. I guess I shouldn't really play that yet. I don't know that it'll matter. That was a lot of smithies bottom decked, unfortunately. But we do get to do this, which is alright. We can get to 7 here. Which is like definitely a number. Not a particularly good one. And then we're just living off a single T-Mog. Maybe Bryan has big plans for raid. I don't know. I don't think you get there, but... Probably continues the villain investment thing. Yeah. My draw is a little poor. I can admit that. We're definitely going to be approaching 3 piles. Especially in the next turn if I have the T-Mogs down. But also for Bryan. Province could be useful. The problem is Bryan's gonna get us loot, but I don't really have a good way to prevent that anyway. Because I think Bryan has enough money to do the whatever search loot order anyway. I think. 5. I mean, maybe not. If I don't take a village here, maybe Bryan can't get the loot and play it or anything. I don't know, but I'm worried about my turn if I don't have a loot here. Even though I think it's going to be pretty bad for me, the end result of it all. But we'll see. I'm not like 100% sure Bryan has the money, but 5 debt. You need $8 in this hand. There's a certainly a silver and a search, so maybe it's there. I mean, it doesn't make a huge difference one way or the other. Like, Bryan will be able to do it. It's just whether I can get my search down and get a loot before that is the big deal, I guess. Well, then Bryan does have to worry about 3 piles also, so. Because I have 4 falconers. The falconers are already here. So if I'm like T-mogging something into a falconer that's gaining a smithy, then we're down to quite low on the piles. And Bryan's 8 in debt. So yeah, it's not all rosy for Bryan necessarily either. I'm not sure I can do it all, but it certainly is easier if the village is gone. Okay, so I guess the other side of it is just, you know, get the I wonder if I can do it. I need like $15 roughly. Okay. It's interesting because well, it's not that interesting. There are a few issues with it. I can't make the falconers activate. Is the problem. Is the big problem, I would say. And I don't have buys. I'm starting to think there are more issues here than I originally suspected. I guess there's a question of whether I can get via continues, get it done. I mean, that's not completely insane as a possibility. I can still, I mean, I guess I have a falconer in the discard pile. I don't know what the last card is. Maybe another smithy. That would be really good to know, actually. You can also Falconer continue. If we continue on that, no, then we're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4. I do feel like there's probably a way to make this good, but I admit to not really knowing what it is. And that is a problem. How many? Because they have 2 T-Mogs. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of T-Mogs. But if they're just dead, like via no villages, if they have to call them on like stables, for instance. Though I probably am giving them one, they're probably getting 1 Falconer really easily. This is brutal. IMO. So I can do these. So if I get the smithies, I can definitely draw a little more. What if I just get a bunch of nomads? I don't think I have the actions for it. I don't really know that this works. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13. I said I needed 15. The Falconer is like a 2. Is there a continue angle here? If I have buys, it's not actually all that far off. If I had one more buy, right? Oh my gosh. Or for even like a tie would be kind of nice. But this is gonna lose for sure. Unless Bryan like full duds. Which, to be honest, the worst things for that, don't know. The search isn't great. I don't know that this works for anything, but this will probably lose. I bet there was a way. I bet there was a pile out where the loot's going to activate. Well, the village gain is going to give them loot, which is going to have multi-type to do your falconers. I bet there was a pile out. I bet there was a line. I don't know what it was. I didn't find it. But I would guess that it existed. 100%. I guess the good news here is I have some like estate piling angles, not piling, but lowering to make the point gap a little bigger. There's also like a there, to be fair, there's probably an angle where you take the nomads away from them. I don't know if they need 4 of them though, to be honest. I didn't play the Enchantress at the end of last turn because it's potentially village effect that they could use. And I didn't want to give Bryan that. So Bryan is piling. But we'll need to score 9 points. So like province, duchy, estate. They're probably totally doable, especially if you have village smithy in hand. So that looks like a reasonable go for. I would like to play around. I'd have to just really, I think about what to do on my turn. And maybe it wasn't even very hard. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a nomad's line. Certainly another nice place to start would have been like, I don't know exactly how this would have worked out, but to have a second T-Mog down would have probably been pretty good. But we'll see. I don't know if they're just counting or if they're truly stopped. It's kind of hard to say. You don't want to play. I mean, if you had another village, you could play that, but otherwise, terminal wise, like if you have smithy and you have some payload, you may want to check that there's not a win in your hand before playing another smithy, for instance. And it could be kind of complicated money counting with like trading post nomads, that kind of stuff. But you could easily have a smithy in hand and be wondering about whether or not you should play it at this point. So we'll see. But continue is not terribly good for moving forward with that. This this ties me with Tracer. So like a tie or a win here would save me. Otherwise, I don't know what the tie break rules are on demotions, if there's a tiebreaker or what, and I don't know what it is. I don't know who would be in a better spot to take advantage of it. I don't know any of that. This is kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know that that's the word I'd use, but draw is pretty weak. It's just first mate. You can put lost arts on first mate, I guess. Trashing is pretty difficult, but not completely impossible. You could also put like lost arts on innkeeper, and you can use that with first mate to some good effect. 5-2 is good. I just don't know if I want the settlers with the 5 or the search. Both are quite good. And I don't know between the two if I want replace or if I want trickster. Because trickster could be kind of brutal, but I think I'm going to try the cleaner path, which is settlers replace, and try to hit and try to do replace estate to sacrifice and try to go a little clean. I don't know if there's going to be, I don't know if any of that'll work out. But that's what I'm going to try for. There's also some innkeeper settlers synergy, which is nice. Let's see what Bryan takes on first 5. Okay. Also goes for that. This would be, I mean, I think you do it. You just see if at least a little bit. Maybe you collide, that's fine. Oh no, not that. What am I doing? And I'll do this with as settlers. Especially since Bryan's not attacking me right now. I do need to hit 5 again for like a first mate. Or a trickster even. It's fine. Okay. This should be pretty big. I don't know if I do the 5, but I'm okay with whiffing. Yeah, I'm okay with this either way. I got 4 of those, which is pretty good. I do need to buy 5 at some point. What do I toss? It may be time to toss the replace for this turn anyway. Okay. Yeah, I like the search. Okay. You can guarantee, but it's pretty scary. Okay, well that was unfortunate, but Not unworkable. It's just the way of the world. I would like the searches. I don't know if the bustling villages are like gonna get smashed this turn. Probably not. That's slightly unfortunate. I could have done a first mate. This may be a surge play loot activation by bustling. I mean, they may get everything here, which would suck. But no, okay. Didn't find the replace. So I have a chance now to do something similar. I guess I do this. Maybe should have tossed the silver. I guess there's still decent reason to do it like this. Okay. Do I have enough? Well, not exactly. So I could get a loot this turn while also getting the last. It gives them loot before their turn, which they otherwise may or may not be able to do. It also just gives me another bustling village, which is kind of nice. I don't know that it's correct, but could get grooms now. There's quite a bit I could do actually. I could get I would like another replace. I wonder if I could have discarded with Innkeeper there and still hit 5. Well, the way I did it, surely, right? Because I was getting a certain. Yeah, I could have trashed another copper there, which would have been worth it. That was poorly played on my part. Hammer is great. What did I get? Puzzle box? That's alright. Hammer is really good here. I would take a Grim if I were. Well, Bryan has a little bit harder village situation, though not super or bad or anything. Yeah, I wish I had played that a little different. So the bustling villages all went. So now there's 2 coppers. So it would be a single copper top deck in exchange for a little more money. Well, I guess we can, it could be a 0. We can do it with the horse, right? So then we either decide to draw on, I guess we draw on for sure, right? We might play groom. So puzzle box, we have 7 or we can have less than 7. First mate innkeeper is cute because you get to do this, you know, massive cycle and then draw it up. Now there is a little bit of, it may, depending on where exactly they'll end up, your like your settlers could be like slightly awkward, potentially. But I wouldn't imagine it's a huge deal. I'm gonna keep trying to hammer the grooms. I just like that pile angle there. And if we ever overdraw, then we have quite a few excess terminal space. This is the part of the innkeeper hand where you wonder how good their hand actually is because they haven't done the discard 6 yet. Yeah, I mean you'll draw back up with first mate, but oh, the first one didn't even the first mate didn't even village, I guess. Not that that's gonna necessarily be an issue here. I still would expect a groom gain. I don't really get it. I don't get the innkeeper gains, but whatever. There's fairground points, I guess. Possible. The deck just doesn't really, it doesn't support playing those treasures. I guess replace. I guess it's for replace. That makes some sense. So, how do we want to do this? Oh, okay, we found that. Can we pile out? Surely not. Next turn, we can think about it. We just won't have the actions here. I mean, if we get another... It's not actually completely crazy. If we have 3 grooms that go down to 3 grooms that then go down to that and an innkeeper gain. All of this is possible, but It would be like, well, what would you take? Some of this is bad. I need to turn these autoplays off, actually. Maybe you should have kept that so we can get... Let's see what the card is. Where is the other groom? Okay, so now we're at a... Huh. Yeah. Well, we could do... really wouldn't mind... like another... We could puzzle box now. We also just don't have to trash a copper. I don't know that that was the play. I don't think there's going to be a pile out for Bryan, but that wouldn't be ideal. Probably Bryan has quite some angles to score a decent amount. Though just the one replace in deck limits that quite a bit. It's like maybe Province double Fairgrounds as a possibility. I have 6 grooms. So that's good. I like having 6 grooms. Adds a second replace, which I think is good, but probably turn late. Like Groom's Estate pile out should be relatively easy. I think. Fingers crossed. Or if it's like this, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Wonder what the fairgrounds are up to for Bryan. It may not be that easy. Though that probably makes it. I don't know that makes it easier, but. So 13. Yeah, like a replace on. If I replace curse to cop estate, or even if I just yeah, okay, that's big. Even if I just do like I think I want him now because I'm probably playing an innkeeper. Even if I just replace copper to estate, that's a 2-point swing, which would be total of 10. Which would be good. Now it's not as clear, but probably we want them. Well, maybe not the coppers. Well, I want one of them because I do either want to replace it if I can. So it may be easier just to buy provinces, like getting innkeepers or buying fairgrounds or whatever. Probably a bit higher percent. So that's piles. That's points. I do feel a little bad about the Taskmaster run too, but I was desperate for games. I lost that game. It didn't even help me. So, but I will not demote now. That will be enough to pass Tracer, and I think it also makes it so that if Bryan were to pass me, then one of, or maybe even both of Eureka Mome and J Nails would be below me as well. I don't think it's mathematically possible for all three of them to end up above me. I needed 6 to have a fluky chance at being in the champ match against Furkle, but Furkle's just way ahead of everybody. So if J Nails has a lopsided result, J Nails could give Furkle a run, but right now it's looking like Furkle will probably take this season. So anyway, I will avoid demotion, BNA next season, but not be in the champ match. So maybe I'll commentate it if they want me to, but or if I can make it to the time. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.